One of the most important decisions that we face in life is what career path to pursue. This is a complicated and very personal choice that involves many trade-offs. Should you follow your passion? How much education will you need to pursue your chosen career? Should your expected income be a priority? I don't have the answers to these important questions. However, I can give you the tools to think about these questions so that you can make an informed career choice. Let's start with thinking about the basic trade-offs by simplifying the choice to two dimensions. On one dimension, we have the intrinsic joy that we get from pursuing a chosen career. We all have activities that we enjoy more than others. Some of us enjoy working outdoors. Others enjoy solving puzzles. Some enjoy artistic pursuits, and others seek the social interaction of teamwork. The enjoyment that we get from pursuing these personal interests is distinct from pay. We simply enjoy the activity because it brings us pleasure. We're often told to pursue our passion when picking a career, and I suspect it is this dimension of career choice that many have in mind when they offer this advice. After all, if we work 40 hours a week from the age of 21 to the age of 65, about a third of our waking hours will be devoted to work. It's important to find a career that suits your interests. A second dimension of career choice is income. And to visualize these two dimensions of career choice, you can think of a graph where one axis is the joy or passion you have for a given career, and the second is the earning potential for the career. The worst jobs will score low on both dimensions and will be found in the lower left corner of this graph. Some jobs will have great earnings potential, but you just aren't excited about them, while others will be really interesting jobs but have limited earnings potential. Of course, the sweet spot is finding a job that you are passionate about and one that is financially rewarding. I'm not saying that this is easy, but it is a life choice that deserves a lot of thought. For better or worse, the career path that you choose represents one of the most important financial decisions that you will make in your life. Let's think about the financial dimension of career choice in a bit more detail. The value of your lifetime earnings is enormous, and for many people represents the biggest financial asset that they possess. Consider Sally. She's graduating from college with a degree in sociology and deciding whether to start a career as a marketing analyst. At the age of 21, she has been offered a job in the marketing department of a social networking company with an annual income of $40,000. She guesses that if she follows the typical career trajectory for someone with her educational background, she'll enjoy annual wage increases of about 3.5% until the age of 65. Now, as an alternative to starting her career, Sally is also considering graduate school. And many adults pursue graduate education to pursue their passion, improve their earnings potential, or both. Pursuing your passion is a very personal choice, and only you can decide whether a graduate education would help you in this pursuit. However, on the second dimension of career choice, your earnings potential, you should think clearly and carefully about whether a graduate education makes sense. The financial trade-off involved with a graduate education is a balance between two main considerations. On one hand, the cost of the education, including tuition expenses and your loss of income while you are in school. And on the other hand, the improved earnings potential that stems from the education. To see this, let's build on our example from earlier. Recall that Sally has an offer for a $40,000 job in marketing and expects annual wage increases of 3.5% per year. Let's draw Sally's cumulative income path on a graph, where the x-axis is her age and the y-axis is her cumulative income at each age. The dashed blue line represents Sally's cumulative earnings from the age of 21 to 65. Now, at the age of 21, she earns $40,000 if she takes the marketing position. By the time she's 65, the sum of her lifetime wages is slightly more than $4.23 million. Of course, when I sum Sally's wages, I do not take into account the time value of money. Namely, that the value of dollars earned today are worth more than the dollars earned in the future. And to account for this time value of money, I can assume a discount rate that describes Sally's time preferences and use that discount rate to calculate the present value of her lifetime earnings. For example, assume Sally is indifferent between receiving $100 today or $105 in 1 year. perhaps because Sally could invest the $100 today, earn a 5% return, and turn the $100 into $105 in a year. Sally's time preferences for income suggest it is reasonable to apply a 5% discount rate to Sally's expected wages to calculate the present value of her future income. Now, if I plot the sum of the present value of Sally's lifetime earnings, depicted on the graph by the solid blue line, you can see that this discounting of future earnings is material. While the discounting has little effect on the wages she earns in her first year of work, since the $40,000 is only discounted 1 year, the impact of discounting grows over time. Sally's expected lifetime earnings of $4.23 million has a present value of about $1.27 million. The big difference in the sum of her lifetime earnings and the present value of those earnings underscores the importance of thinking carefully about one's preferences over time. Economists argue the value of Sally's lifetime earnings, sometimes referred to as human capital, is appropriately estimated as the present value of her lifetime earnings, not the sum of the earnings. Why? Because the present value takes into account the exact timing of Sally's expected income, while the simple summation of future income does not. Now let's consider the alternative to taking the marketing position. Sally can pursue a master's degree in, for example, accounting, which she knows will improve her earnings potential. The 1-year master's degree will cost her $40,000. Now Sally's done her homework, and she knows that the institution that she is considering places its graduates with a starting salary of $45,000. Not much more than she is currently making, but many graduates are able to move into positions with more responsibility and pay, so she expects her income to increase at a rate of 4% with the master's degree rather than 3.5% if she does not pursue it. Does the graduate degree make financial sense? Now, to answer this question, we need to compare the present value of Sally's lifetime earnings with and without the master's degree. So to start, let's graph the present value of Sally's future income if she takes the marketing position and passes on the graduate school, as we did before. Note that I have changed the income axis on this graph to make it a bit easier to read, since we are now focusing on the present value of Sally's future earnings. The red line plots the present value of Sally's expected lifetime earnings if she pursues the master's in accounting. You can now see the trade-off clearly. In the year after she graduates from undergraduate school, Sally will give up her $40,000 marketing job and need to pay a hefty tuition bill of $40,000. However, the master's degree will give her a slight boost in income over what she might expect from her marketing job. As a result, the present value of her lifetime earnings soon becomes greater than what she'd expect from the marketing position straight out of school, and reaches a total valuation of $1.43 million by the age of 65. Put differently, the master's degree has a financial payoff of more than $160,000 given the assumptions we have made about future wages. Now, the third option that Sally is considering is pursuing a PhD in sociology at a local school, and it's going to cost her about $30,000 a year in tuition, and it's going to take 4 years. Again, Sally's done her homework and knows the earnings potential for the graduates is a bit better than what she expects from the marketing job she's been offered. She anticipates that she'll earn about $50,000 when she graduates, and she'll probably enjoy an annual pay increase of about 4% per year. Let's add this third option to our graph of Sally's lifetime income. Again, you can clearly see the trade-off offered by the PhD program. Over the next 4 years, Sally is facing an annual tuition bill of $30,000, and she's foregoing potential income from a job for 4 years. After 4 years, the present value of the tuition expenses at a 5% discount rate amounts to $106,379. In the PhD option, Sally's income is pretty much on par with her earnings potential with a master's degree. But the 4 years of lost income and tuition costs mean that the present value of her cumulative lifetime earnings peaks at $1.23 million. Not quite as much as her lifetime earnings with the master's in accounting, and pretty close to what she'll earn if she just takes the marketing position straight out of undergraduate. To summarize, of the 3 options Sally is considering, The master's degree in accounting yields the best financial payoff, both in cumulative earnings and the present value of lifetime earnings. However, the financial payoffs of the three options are not that different, particularly when we focus on the present value of lifetime earnings, which most economists would argue is the appropriate measure for evaluating the financial payoff associated with career choice. In fact, Sally may have a passion for studying sociology and knows that her degree will possibly lead to a teaching position at a community college that she is particularly interested in. Obviously, this is where the second dimension of career choice comes into play. Which of these career paths will Sally find intrinsically rewarding? At face value, the three options lead to potentially very different life experiences, and these experiences will represent a third of Sally's waking life during her working years. Should Sally pursue the PhD in sociology? Perhaps she should try the marketing job, since she might find out that she actually likes it and can always pursue a graduate education in a year or two. Perhaps she should start a master's program in accounting, which is the financially most rewarding of the three options. What advice would you give Sally? These are difficult and very personal choices. I don't claim to have the answers to these questions, but encourage you to do your homework. When you consider the career choices that are available to you, know what the financial rewards are likely to be, and equally, if not more important, know whether your chosen career path suits your interests and abilities. Your choice of career is one of the most important decisions you will make. Make it wisely.